Wolverine has always been considered one of the strongest characters who is unkillable because of his amazing healing factor. We saw a glimpse of the regenerative abilities of Wolverine in X-Men: The Last Stand, where Wolverine's body was healing itself back in real time as the Phoenix Force was destroying it. But what if we tell you there is a sword that has the power to truly kill Wolverine? Muramasa Blade was a sword forged by an immortal madman named Muramasa, who is well known for his swordsmith ability and is considered a legend in the Marvel Universe. These swords have the ability to cut through anything, even adamantium, which we witnessed when Solemn, another mutant with adamantium powers, was attacked by this sword. Although the full potential of Muramasa Blade is still not clear, we have seen it corrupt Wolverine and even give him a wound that took 2 whole days to heal. That's why in today's video we will be diving deep into the origins of Muramasa Blade, the only known weakness of Wolverine. But before we get started with the video, we have a small request for you. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel and like this video. It might be just a simple click for you, but it means a lot to us. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get started. Forged in Madness, the birth of the Immortals' first Muramasa Blade. Throughout the Marvel comic history, there have been 2 Muramasa Blades in existence. This is the story of the first Muramasa Blade, which was forged in the madness of Muramasa and had the capability to corrupt anyone who came in touch with it. This Muramasa Blade was also called the Black Blade. The story starts with Lindsay McCabe entering a tavern in the Madripoor Lowtown. She came here looking for her best friend, Jessica Drew. Yes, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Woman who had recently lost her spider powers. While the goons were hitting on Lindsay, Logan came to her rescue, who was going by the alias Patch to cover his identity. Logan was here to look for the Black Blade as he didn't want it falling into the wrong hands, but Logan was too late as he entered a room and found a room filled with dead bodies. Just as he was about to encounter the culprit responsible for this, he met another foe called the Silver Samurai, a fellow mutant with the power to channel energy through his sword, allowing him to cut through anything. They both engage in a battle, but their fight is interrupted by the introduction of Jessica Drew, who is already wielding the Black Blade. It looked like Jessica's soul has been corrupted and she was acting all weird, like a madman. Jessica and Silver Samurai then engage in a heated battle, which brings the whole tavern down. When Lindsay watches her friend acting strange, she tries to calm her down, but to her surprise, Jessica starts charging towards her with a sword. Logan saves Lindsay and Jessica escapes the building. While chasing after Jessica, Logan decides to reveal his true identity and use his adamantium claws. During the fight with Jessica, Logan grabs the black sword but is soon consumed by its darkness and starts acting weirdly. He kidnaps Jessica and runs away from the scene. Thus, the Silver Samurai and Lindsay join hands to track down Logan and save Jessica Drew. They are able to track him down but find out that Logan, who is possessed by the Black Sword, is about to sacrifice Jessica. But Lindsay saves Jessica at the right moment by shooting Wolverine, and Silver Samurai arrives at the location to fight Logan. Wolverine then throws the Black Blade in an attempt to kill Silver Samurai, but he grabs the sword and surprisingly, he isn't possessed by the sword. Justifying Silver Samurai is the suitable wielder of the Black Blade, thus ending the dark terrain of the Black Blade. The gift of the Muramasa Sword. Muramasa gave the sword to Wolverine. The story of the second Muramasa Sword begins with the introduction of Daken, the son of Wolverine, who attacks the X-Men and is even able to wound Wolverine with a sword forged by a piece of Wolverine's own soul. It was revealed that after World War II, Wolverine went to Jasmine Falls to seek redemption upon the instructions of Master Ogun. There he meets a Japanese lady called Itsu and becomes very fond of her. In the 4 years he trained in Jasmine Falls, he learned to bring balance into his life. When Itsu said she was pregnant, Logan rejoiced as this was the first time he was about to become a father. During a ceremony in the village, Logan accidentally injures a young boy from the village and is banned from Jasmine Falls, so he decides to leave the place but wants to say his final goodbye to Itsu. When he visits Itsu, he smells her blood from miles away and runs to find that Itsu has been killed. Filled with anger and rage, Logan visits a mystic swordsman who is a madman, but his work is the stuff of legends. He seeks Muramasa's aid in seeking revenge for the death of his wife. Thus, Muramasa promises to create a sword for him that would be able to cut through anything and would even be able to bring down the mighty Wolverine. Muramasa then urges his powers to focus on the rage that Logan is feeling, extracts his blood and uses this rage and bonds it with an unknown alloy. Muramasa then puts his swordsmith skills to forge, refine, and sharpen a sword that is often counted among the strongest weapons in the Marvel Universe. Muramasa later gives this blade to Wolverine. We also get a hint of this sword in the live-action Wolverine, which was released in 2013, where the Silver Samurai uses this sword to cut through the adamantium claws of Wolverine. Logan's returned to Krakoa, blade in hand, ready to defend. Later down the line, the Muramasa blades were destroyed by the Orphans of X after the temporary death of Wolverine, but the Muramasa blades make another appearance in the Marvel Comics during the X of Swords storyline. As a tournament was able to begin between the lands of Krakoa and Arakko, Logan sought out Muramasa to ask him to forge a new sword for him for this upcoming tournament, which would decide the fate of the people of Krakoa. After searching for Muramasa everywhere, he learns that a doorway responsible for the merging of the two nations had developed several breaches between multiple domains, and one of these breaches allowed for a collaboration between a group of the Hand Ninjas and their evil master, the Beast. This union made them extremely strong, and they managed to force the immortal madman Muramasa into crafting new swords for a wedding ceremony. Thus, Wolverine goes to Hell to find Muramasa and finds him still undead and working on a new sword. When Wolverine recovers in a cell in Hell, he finds himself in the companionship of another mutant from Arakko. It was revealed that Logan wasn't the sole individual hunting for a strong weapon to participate in the Battle of Worlds. Another mutant from the land of Arakko called Solemn was also looking for blades that would allow him to fight this battle. A mutant seer advised Solemn to seek out Muramasa to ask him to forge a sword for him. While searching for Muramasa, Wolverine and Solemn decide to work together to reach the wedding venue of the Beast's lieutenants and discover that this time, Muramasa has forged two swords, so they decide to steal the blades. During the chaos that ensued at the wedding, Solemn was injured by the Muramasa blade, something he felt was impossible due to his adamantium skin, but he was eventually saved by Wolverine. Solemn decided to give the new Muramasa blade to Wolverine for a favor and kept the other Muramasa blade with himself and used that to participate in the game of life and death. After completing Solemn's demand, Wolverine returns to Krakoa, carrying the Muramasa blade to defend it from the impending doom. How this blade is the weakness of Wolverine. Wolverine has always been considered an immortal character because of his healing factor, but it's not like he can't be killed. Just like we saw in the movie Logan, Wolverine died because of his slow healing factor, thus sustaining multiple injuries proved fatal for him. Muramasa blade, forged with Logan's rage, does just that. It slows down Wolverine's healing factor, which makes him vulnerable to wounds that won't heal for days. In Wolverine Origins Issue 4, Wolverine once sustained a minor injury from the Muramasa blade. Although the injury was small, it didn't heal at all for 2 whole days. Later, the Muramasa blade was broken, and a piece of it was stolen by Daken, who bonded it with his claws with the help of the Tinkerer. Logan then removed the pieces of the Muramasa blade from Daken's claws and buried them in an unmarked grave in the Howlett estate in Alberta. During the Orphans of X storyline, Carol Danvers and Laura Kinney were tricked into revealing the location of his blade and its fragments, which were then melted and converted into bullets by the Orphans of X. Later, during the X of Swords storyline, Wolverine seeks out another Muramasa blade made by the immortal Muramasa, which was shown to even cut through adamantium itself. We saw glimpses of this in the live-action Wolverine movie 2, where the Muramasa blades were capable of cutting through Logan's adamantium claws during the climax of this movie. Marvel's verdict. Although we have already seen some amazing feats of the Muramasa blades in the comics, it's still not clear how strong this blade is in comparison to the other strong weapons in the Marvel Universe. Also, there have been only a few mentions of this blade in the live-action movies of Wolverine, so we can easily expect to get more details about this weapon in the coming issues of X-Men comics, and we might also get a glimpse of these blades in the live-action X-Men movies that are coming to the MCU. However, it looks like Marvel is far away from making a live-action X-Men movie in the MCU, so we just might have to wait for like 5 years until we get to see these swords in live-action movies. We don't know when this sword will be introduced, but we are sure that the introduction of this sword will change the hierarchy of powerful weapons in the MCU. With that being said, if you liked our content, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.